On February the 13th, 2024, Canon rumors said the Canon RF 70 to 200mm f2.8 L image stabilized USMZ will be announced before July 2024, and it will have the internal zoom that we've already reported on, as well as the same power zoom functionality that is found in the Canon RF 24-105 f2.8 L image stabilized USMZ that was announced in November. This would be the second Canon RF lens with the Z designation, but a news source has come forward stating that instead of one Z lens coming in 2024, we can expect to see 4 Z lenses by the end of the year. I know what you're thinking. With Canon-related rumors being so inaccurate lately, how reliable and trustworthy is this source of ours? But before we get to the details, please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow, and keeps you up to date on the latest camera coverage. I'll get to the exciting details in just a moment. But first, let's address the credibility and reliability of the source. I've used this source before, I've known this source for many years, and I would say that this source has a reliable track record of between 60 and 80%, well, maybe 70 to 80%. This is the same source that told me that the Canon EOS R6 Mark II would have a stacked sensor, and we all know how that turned out. And while I certainly trust this source, I've known this person for a long time, I don't know anything about how they got their information. This is generally something that sources don't offer up, but with a 60 or 70 to 80% accuracy rate, let's go ahead and get right to the details. Shortly after the publication of this Canon Rumors post on February the 13th, I was told that we would get not 1, but 4 Z lenses by the end of 2024. And if you're wondering if those 4 Z lenses are referring to 4 lenses coming from the Nikon Z mount, they are not. You see, while I was talking to my source, we were talking about Canon RF lenses when this conversation came out. Now, in terms of the focal length or the aperture range of these lenses, well, we don't have anything specific. But he did tell me that one of them would be a fast and wide zoom, and the other would be a zoom lens with a larger range than the current 24-105 f2.8 image stabilized USMZ. And again, while no specs were given on any of these 4 lenses, one thing that I would expect is, like the 24-105 f2.8, is that, well, they'll all support that sort of quasi-parfocal zooming, which is absolutely terrific. That's the effect of when you're able to zoom all the way in from 24-105, on the 24-105, you don't have any focus breathing. You don't lose focus. And if you want to complement that quasi-parfocal zooming and improve your cinematic pulls, well, Canon also released a pair of zoom adapters. These were announced alongside the Canon RF 24-105 f2.8 image stabilized USMZ. The PZ-E2 adapter is priced at $999, and the PZ-E2B, it's priced at $1299. So you might be wondering, those power adapters, will they work with any other lenses? The answer is no. They will only work with lenses that have Z in their product name. And right now, the only lens is, yep, you guessed it, the 24-105 f2.8 L image stabilized USMZ. So other than what my source is telling me, how likely are we actually to get new lenses that will actually support these new power adapters? And the simple short answer is very likely. Canon rumors said the Canon RF 70 to 200mm f2.8 L image stabilized USMZ, that's right, another lens with a Z, will be announced before July of 2024 and have the same power zoom functionality as the RF 24-105 f2.8. And those power zoom adapters, alongside the quasi-parfocal zooming of the 24-105 f2.8 Z lens, well, that's a huge deal. That offers many enhanced capabilities to these lenses to our workflow that normally you'd have to pay an awful lot of money to get on cinema lenses, which makes $29.99 look awfully cheap. And if Canon can introduce many other Z lenses and also provide that parfocal or that quasi-parfocal zooming, well then, I can't imagine not picking up one of those power adapters. And let me just ask you a simple question. If you shoot video on a regular basis and Canon only comes out with one lens that supports a power adapter. How likely are you to spend $12.99 or $9.99 at the very cheapest? Probably not very likely, the same with me. But if Canon releases a whole slew of these lenses with a, well, quasi-parfocal zooming, then yeah, I think spending $9.99 or $12.99 on a power zoom adapter makes a whole lot more sense and becomes one of those, hey, I've got to get one of these. I mean, after all, when I bought this 2x extender, it seemed like, well, an awful lot of money to spend to just support one lens. But to be able to put it in multiple lenses, well, then it offers better value. But at the end of the day, it is just a rumor. It hasn't been validated. It's not coming from Canon. It's coming from a source. And while, again, this source is credible, and while we have other stories out there talking about other Z lenses coming out, like the 70 to 200 millimeter, it is just a rumor. However, what I expect over the next couple of days to couple of weeks is this to be either debunked or validated by other rumor sites such as Sony Alpha Rumors or Canon Rumors. Both of these two sites have been doing a very good job of covering Canon gear, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something very soon. Now, will it be this week? Who knows? Next week? Who knows? But I think this is one of those rumors where it makes an awful lot of sense. I can't see Canon stopping with just that one lens, which sells for $29.99. Now imagine for a moment that Canon comes out with other Z lenses that are cheaper, that aren't L series, so that drops the price significantly, but they also have that quasi-parfocal zooming. That's a really big deal. And then, putting on an adapter, I get it, $9.99 isn't cheap, but over time, as you build up more of these lenses, then yeah, $9.99 doesn't seem necessarily such a bad deal. And of course, coming to Black Friday and other sales throughout the year, you can expect to spend less on these things. Probably not right now because, well, they were just announced back in, November the 2nd, and they've only started shipping. So I'll give you my honest take on this. If we do get 4 other lenses this year with the Z letter in the product name, I can see myself getting one of these. At this point, I don't know if I get the $9.99 one or the $12.99 one. It really depends on how much I would see myself using this. Now, for all the years I've been shooting, I don't use a power zoom. I've never kind of needed a power zoom. I've never really wished I had it. It's kind of like shooting at 120 frames per second. It's nice to have, and maybe throughout the year I might shoot anywhere from 1 to 5 times, but it's not critical to my work. But now offer it as an enhancement, a capability to my workflow, and then maybe I'll start looking at opportunities to use it. Because if it's one of those tools in your toolkit, it becomes a different story. Then you pick it up one day and say, yeah, let's give this a try and see how it turns out. And that's how I got started with 8K. When I first got the R5, I thought 8K, what a silly waste of time. I won't use this. Every video since has been shot in one of the 8K modes, whether it's 8K over sample 4K, or I've been shooting product shots with 8K. I like it. I appreciate the detail. And for anybody that shoots with an 8K camera can tell you, most of the times they're not outputting an 8K in a final product, but they're using it as a master file. One other thing I did notice when I was covering this story is, believe it or not, 30% of you are subscribed to this channel. That means over or close to 70% of you. Yeah, I know the math should be simple, but I've been up since 4:30 this morning and it's late in the evening. So 70% of you haven't subscribed to this channel. So without ranting and droning on, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you're still watching, please go ahead, click that subscribe button. It really does help this channel grow, helps it get noticed and recognized. And if you're interested in purchasing anything I talked about in this video, if you're looking at getting the Canon EOS R5, which is on sale at $29.99 at Adorama and B&H, and Adorama will even throw in a free 128GB CF Express Type B card, as well as a card reader. Links are in the description down below. And if you do purchase any camera gear, lenses, or accessories through my affiliate links, these ones right here, I do have them in the description down below. I do get 2 to 12% back, but that goes right back into this channel. I don't take any money out as income. Everything I do for this channel is about growing this channel, and it's about acquiring gear, so that way, instead of just getting it for a weekend or maybe a week to be able to test it out, I'm able to live with it and tell you what it's like to live with these lenses, the 100 to 500, the 200 to 800, the 100mm, the 50mm f1.2, the R5, the Ninja, and the list goes on. But thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great week. I wouldn't be surprised if more information comes out as we get ready for CP+. But I'll let you in on a little bit of a secret right now. We aren't expecting any major camera announcements. But Canon and all the major camera manufacturers are going to be present in Japan on February the 22nd to the 25th for CP+. And as early as Sunday, we can start to get announcements ahead of the show. Yep, that's the thing with CP+. Nobody releases information at the show. They all release it leading up to the show, at least the major releases. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon.